why is the world this way? The reason why the world is this way is we have turned a table of abundance into a table of scarcity. And if we can recover the deepest why? Because we live in God's table, we live at God's table, because gifts are freely given, because grace animates everything. And why? Is because we have hoarded the gifts. And think of how the world would be transformed. The thing that gives me hope right now is that there's so much that's bad, and so many people are sad and afraid that there might be the possibility to hear and understand the table that we haven't had for a very long time. Because as long as we were living within a pyramid that rewarded certain people, it was worthwhile keeping the pyramid in place. Because we thought, oh yeah, it's going to be okay. The pyramid worked for me, so it's going to work for other people too. It just takes time. But now I think that we are feeling, in so many ways around the planet, the failure of that pyramid structure. There's really an emotional battle going on around the whole of the globe between the people who are saying, no, really, it is the pyramid. And the point is we have to build the pyramid stronger with bigger walls and thicker base. And that's going to be the answer to all of our problems. But there are so many more people who are seeing that is a lie. And that we really need to be living in an alternative story. And that there really is the only other story of beauty that is available to us is this story about gifts and grace and tables and circles and living with one another. It's the story that Martin Luther King was preaching before he died. When you sit at a table with someone that you had not known before or did not know you could be friends with, and you legitimately share a meal with one another, and neither one of you is trying to destroy the table or the other person or take all the food, it makes a huge difference as to who you become and who that other person becomes. You become something different. And so when you walk away from the table, you take the memory of the table with you. Do this in remembrance of me. Remember the table. And so that's what Good Friday is. The destruction of a body and the destruction of a table. The destruction of a feast. And that's why Easter Sunday becomes so extraordinary. Is because God finally says enough. You're not going to do it. You're not getting away with it this time. There have been too many acts of violence that destroyed my table. There have been too many insane politicians who wanted to take the feast away from the people of the world. I'm not going to let it happen this time. No more Pharaoh, no more Caesar. Instead, I'm going to reset this table. And so when Jesus rises and then starts this series at the end of all of the Gospels of these appearances, where he shows up again with his friends, almost every one of those appearances happens around a table. Jesus shows up at a table where the disciples have gone to the same room where they held the Last Supper, and he breathes a grace on them. He actually gifts them with a gratitude blessing at that table. Peace. It's a prayer. Peace. And all of a sudden the world turns upside down for them. The instruments of death, the instruments of empire, cross, gone. That's what the point of Easter is. We should not wear crosses around our neck. We should be wearing circles that represent tables, because that's the point. And yet, the most profound religious vision, the one that has often eluded us most substantially, is the core thing, is the core idea is that God has gifted the universe with everything. We sit around a table, and the first words of awareness, the first words of our lives should always be thankful. Thank you. Or I'm so grateful. Then, of course, we think about the table of our lives. If the first words are thank you, so the last words are also thank you. Gratitude is the primary moral framework of life in God.